Yo, yo, yo. Dude, my camera is off. What's up, guys? Good morning, good morning. Dude, way off. What happened, man? I'll fix it in a second. What's up, guys? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's good to see you. It's good to be here. Um, Camera's off because I cleaned everything yesterday because of all the maple syrup that I got everywhere. But I hope everybody's weekend's going very well. Um, Hopefully slow, not too fast. Good weekend, full of fun and rest and food, relaxation, good times. Um, it is Sunday. It is Sunday, baby. June 5th. Yeah. Um, we will do a little bit more Valheim today, and we will do a little bit more Jackbox as well. Probably won't go quite as long today in Valheim as we did yesterday, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're going to do what we do every single day. We're going to go ahead and hop into this video gaming news segment, all right? See if I can fix this camera a little bit here. It's not it, man. Nor is that. Everything got messed around. I don't know. I'll probably have to fix it later, man. It's a whole thing. Let's see. We'll see. That's gonna do for now, I think. Feel like I can't get it back to where we had it. Oh well, whatever. That's gonna work. All right, let's get over here. That's gonna work for now. That'll do. That'll do. Um, cool. Here we go. Gaming news, baby. See what we can get into here. Um, Mario Strikers, yeah. We'll see. We'll see the weekend games in Kotaku. We'll skim that real quick. Um, we talked about this yesterday. PlayStation's pushing into mobile gaming. It's not just mobile; it's PC as well, right? Mobile gaming and PC. Um, that is where PlayStation is trying to go. It's only accounts for roughly like 10% of their profit at this point. So they're trying to pivot in there, get into these other revenue streams for gaming. And it makes sense. Actually, I'm surprised they didn't do it a long time ago. And we'll see how it works out for them. The PC stuff is a really, really good move, in my opinion. Um, I'm a little biased, though. I'm a PC gamer. First Call of Duty Warzone mobile screenshots have appeared. We'll take a look. We'll take a look. Wait, go back. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Um, Good night, man. Let's be very clear here. We've talked about this a lot, especially recently, because there have been a lot of there's been a lot of news over the past few weeks regarding media trying to blame video games for being the catalyst behind some very violent actions. It has been scientifically proven. There has been plenty of research that video games don't prompt people to uh, follow through with these violent acts. Like it is not the catalyst behind these violent acts. On the flip side of that, as you can see right here, right, video games have been, as with anything else in life, uh, can be a catalyst to get people into certain kinds of situations where um, they result they resort to violence to kind of settle like a dispute or whatever. But it's not the content in video games that is prompting people to go out and commit violent acts. That is a far cry from something like this, where this individual apparently uh, punched a youth family member over some kind of video game dispute, right? There's a big difference there. Neither, like this is not acceptable at all. And but it's important to note what the difference is there, because we've talked about it a lot recently. I don't normally dive into all this new, like, we talk a lot about new gaming technology, but when it comes to things specifically like manufactured devices, as far as like so and so Razer's coming out with a new gaming laptop, I'm not usually gonna jump into that unless the community is interested in seeing it. It's, to me, just another device. Now that's different from, you know, any kind of new hardware that's coming out that we haven't seen before, and would be worth taking a look at, see what it's going to provide us as, you know, within the gaming industry. Um, New computer chips, new graphics cards, things like that. What they're going to add to our gaming experience moving forward. That's the kind of stuff that's very important, as opposed to uh, another gaming laptop. You know, that isn't necessarily. That's not stuff I'm looking to really dive into very much, unless the community is looking for me to maybe get a better look at that. Okay. Switch network failure prevents users from accessing digital games. This has been a topic of discussion a lot for us here lately, and we'll jump back on it and we'll talk about it some more, since apparently Nintendo's having some issues. Ooh, fans call on Sega to delay Sonic Frontiers game. Okay, let's take a look. We talked about this yesterday. Queer Games Bundle kicks off Pride Month fundraiser. Same kind of thing that itch.io did for providing support and relief to Ukraine back earlier when the war first kind of kicked off, right? So if you are interested, I'll go ahead and throw the link in there. We took a look at it yesterday. If you want a better rundown of what's there and everything, go look at yesterday's news segment on YouTube, okay? Or check it out yourself right there in chat. The end of turn based Final Fantasy was inevitable, was it? Take a look. There are plenty of turn based games that are still made. Plenty of turn based RPG games that are still made, and people love them. So why was it inevitable that Final Fantasy moved away from it? I think it was inevitable that all the games they made were not turn based anymore. But I think there's definitely still something to be said for a really nice turn based game. Ooh, Night Dive wants to remaster the original Unreal next. Nice. Queen Guinevere. We'll have to talk to Queen Guinevere about this. Uh, we hit on this yesterday as well. Go look at that segment from yesterday on YouTube, June 4th, yeah. you'll get a bit of a taste of what we came across in this article. Amazon announces new multiplayer action game. Let's take a look at that. All these, the biggest gaming news, the biggest gaming news, biggest. This is like these are just articles that are like contain like a summary over a lot of the segment, a lot of the news articles that we've already hit over the past week, or those past weeks anyway. So there's no point in us diving into those. Just so everybody knows, that's why I'm skipping those. Yeah, we know E3 is not going to be happening this summer. It would normally be happening next week, and next weekend. But there's a lot of other showcases we'll be taking a look at. Okay. Marvel's Midnight Suns leak reveals Spider-Man, Scarlet. Let's go see what that's about. Excuse me. Excuse me. Escape from Tarkov Arena will be a new standalone FPS. There we go. A lot of Escape from Tarkov fans out there. We already hit on this. If you're not familiar, the was it Wolfenstein New Order? That's the game that is free right now on Epic's Epic Game Store. Oh, I don't think I'm logged in. But yeah, I mean, every week Epic gives away games, and a lot of times very, very good games too. We just had Borderlands 3. There was the entire Bioshock collection remastered with all the DLC as well, which doesn't normally happen. They're always giving away some nice titles. So even if you're opposed to having libraries in multiple places, look, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's going to keep happening. Um, hard to beat free games. So go grab your free games on Epic Game Store. Oh, we have Prime Day coming, huh? Let's take a look. Best gaming computer monitor deals on Amazon ahead of Prime Day. We'll see. We'll see if there's anything that might be good for people to. If you're in the market for a monitor, we'll see what's going on there on Amazon. We've already hit on this. Roblox investors to be playing a dangerous game. Let's see what's going on there. All right, let's pivot this search real quick. Sorry, 1 second, guys. We saw this yesterday as well. I called it. It's Knights of the Old Republic, which they're remaking as well. Knights of the Old Republic is a sick video game, and if you've never played it, you should definitely go check it out. I would recommend checking out the original before the remaster hits, or the remake hits. Close second was Jedi Fallen Order. Um, that was the name of this one, right? And the sequel to this is actually in the works as well. This is a game that's considered to be a very good play, and maybe we'll end up playing it here in the channel before too long. We read about this yesterday as well. Go check that news segment out if you're interested. And this is as well the Sega announcing a new Mega Drive Mini 2. Over 50 games will be on it, stuff like that. We've read about this. Yeah, Raven Software, subsidiary of Blizzard Activision, got its first union. It is the first major dev with a union in North America, so it's going to keep happening. First big dev, anyways. Spain eyes crackdown on video game loot boxes. There are a lot of countries that are joining in on this. It's they're very coming very bandwagony, man. There's a lot of countries, and I mean, look, as far as I'm concerned, it's good. I don't know. I think loot boxes for a long time now have been a very scummy kind of way to quite often pull money out of gamers that already paid up front for the games to play it, and then to get some of the more lucrative, higher sought after items in the game, you're gonna buy loot boxes too. You know, I don't know. It seems very schemazed. Where normally you can't even grind really a significant amount of currency to get in-game currency to get the loot boxes. It quite often is like you're gonna have to pay money and stuff. It just excuse me keeps trending in that direction, and I don't know, man. It for me personally, it's just not something that appeals to me. As far as how other people feel about it, a lot of people feel like it's gambling. Okay, gambling is not something that affects me, but I do know that gambling affect, and I would agree, it's definitely a spin on gambling in video games. Loot boxes, gotcha games with all the summons you can do, stuff like that. It's all in that same realm, and I'm not going to tell somebody else how they can spend their money, but I do feel it's very gimmicky in a way that entices people that have issues with gambling to spend a lot of money that maybe they wouldn't otherwise. Yeah. So I can see it as being an issue. I can also see people saying, uh, if I want to spend my money on this, why are you not, you know, I should be able to spend my money on this. Personally, as just a gaming enthusiast and industry enthusiast, the world I love, I don't like seeing the scummy kind of scammed incorporations and mechanics put into the games. Um, and there will be an argument about, well, what about free to play games? And, you know, I think there's a big difference in a game incorporating some loot box mechanics that is there can be good and bad ways to do it for sure. Like with most in things that go on in the industry, and um, there have been plenty of free to play games that haven't needed to resort to like loot boxes and uh, incorporate little to no pay to win, and are still very successful, make good amounts of money because they've done incorporating like whether it be mounts or skins or you know all kinds of different stuff, maybe a little bit of quality of life stuff, whatever, into the games, and I think most companies just see it as a way to try to suck as much money out of people as possible, and they know that it's a gimmick that some people can't help from, diving into and just keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, and that's that gambling. That's that gambling addiction. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what the answer is there, but there are a lot of countries that are hopping on board with not allowing those kinds of gimmicks, the gambling kind of gimmicks in video games, to be allowed within their regions. So we'll see how it goes. Spain being another one. A lot of this stuff we have read already. Yep, read about that. Yep. I have a link to this if anybody wants it. It's pretty cool actually. PlayStation has a like glossary dictionary of terms of gaming tech jargon terms, yeah, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Ooh, Gollum video game in September. Yeah, we've been following that for a long time. I'm excited about that. We've hit on this. We knew Madden was going to be on the cover of the new. John Madden is going to be on the cover of the new Madden football game, which rightfully so. Passed last year, right? And was it the beginning of this year or was it end of last year? Either way, he it seems like he might have been a pretty decent dude actually, and he's been a lot to that sport, and he's been the American football face for video games forever, man. See if we get anything new in here. Last page. New study shows highest earning gaming YouTuber making I'm guessing like roughly $50,000 per video. Dude, I can pump out some videos, man. 50K a pop. Could you imagine? Could you imagine pulling in $50,000 a video? Goodness. Sure, Nintendo World's Mario Kart ride gets new details. Let's take a look at that. That's their new theme park. Yeah, we read about that. Dragon's Age 4 is officially named Dragon Age Dreadwolf. We'll be seeing more on that later down the line, I'm sure. Toys for Bob could be working on a new Crash game, Crash Bandicoot game. Cool. We've read about that. Yeah, we've read about EA and FIFA no longer being collaborating on the soccer European or what the rest of the world knows as football, right? Um, so there'll EA will continue making the games. Um, they will be rebranded to EA Sports FC, I think, is what they're going to call them. And now FIFA is trying to find other developers to collaborate with to create FIFA's football game moving forward. So we'll see how it goes. Competition's good, man. I hope EA gets wrecked. Company drives me crazy. 12-year-old girl takes on the video gaming industry. See what that's about. Yeah, we read about this too. Here's the thing. It's kind of wild to think about the fact that like this kind of situation probably happens more than we realize. Xbox turned Marvel down, leading to Spider-Man being created on with Sony and PlayStation, being a PlayStation exclusive, right? And you look at it just from a very face value kind of situation and what that means, and everybody goes, "Wow, dude, Xbox really missed it." They Microsoft really missed out here on being able to have these Spider-Man games as part of their portfolio. They're very successful for Sony and PlayStation, right? But excuse me, guys. Um, Here's the thing. Um, Ultimately, what we need to keep in mind is that these games, while I have not played them, they are very highly rated games, right? And A lot of people really, really enjoy these titles. Had Xbox taken on the Marvel deal and tried to make Spider-Man games, they could have been totally trash, or not even trash, but just nowhere near the quality of product that Sony ended up making with these titles. On the flip side of that, maybe they could have been even better, right? Who knows? That's that whole like alternate universe kind of, the multiverse. What would it be? What would it be? You know what I mean? Um, so who knows? But one thing's for sure, they had the opportunity to grab these IPs, the Marvel stuff, and see what they could do with it before Sony got a hold of it and PlayStation got a hold of it. And apparently, I mean, because we've read about this already, and apparently it was a situation where Xbox was like, no, we've got enough on our plate right now. We can't be doing Marvel stuff too. So, bye. I don't know, man. I don't know. We got a good amount of articles here. Let's take a look, see what we got. Uh, the weekend games, bend it like Bowser. Dude, I love Bowser. I'm a Bowser fan. Playing the Nintendo games, you're usually gonna find me rocking like Bowser, Donkey Kong, Boo, those types of characters. 1 second, guys. Sorry. All right. Apologies. It's time once again to answer the age-old question: who's the best soccer player among all the Mario characters? Thankfully, on June 10th, Mario Strikers Battle League will provide us with yet another opportunity to solve one of life's greatest mysteries. Um, Weekend Games is back. Assuming nothing wild happens anytime in the future, the Weekend Games is back. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got here. So tomorrow, Elder Scrolls Online new expansion comes out. The High Isle. Shut your mouth. Yeah. Okay. Um, Tuesday will be Attack at Dawn, North Africa. Spellforce 3 Reforced. True Fear, Forsaken Souls. Yuru Kill, the Calumnation Games. June 8th, My Lovely Wife. Mythbusters, the game. Noel, the Mortal Fate. Nummels, Space Wing War. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, Sith Lord. On Switch. That's just a port to Switch. Um, Go play the original coder. Go play the original coder. The second one was not bad by any means, from what I remember, but it's not like the original Knights of the Old Republic either. Super Impossible Road, The Cycle Frontier, and then on Thursday, Cool Animals, Demon Slayer, Even If Tempest, Meteor World Actor, Never Grind Online, One Last Memory, Postal, Pro Cycling Manager, Socko Cat, Square Keeper, Tour de France. Friday, Ampersat, Armageddon, Mario Strikers, Metal Max Xeno, Mysteries Under the Lake, One Last Memory, The Quarry, The Wizard and the Slug, Please Fix the Road. Okay? Now, not like a lot of highly anticipated games in this, right? But remember this. This week is actually where um, most of our big showcases are happening in lieu of E3, right? So um, we are going to find out about a lot of games that are potentially worth getting hyped about, yeah. But there you go. If you're interested, that's some of the more notable games that are being released this week. First Call of Duty Warzone mobile screenshots have appeared online. Several screenshots, which appear to be from Call of Duty Warzone's mobile version, have appeared online. as first posted by Twitter user COD Perseus, an account with a history posting pre-released Call of Duty content. Screenshots show off the beginning of a match as players drop from the plane. The Gulag, which is an area players are sent to once they've been killed for the first time in a match. Two others appear to be in various areas of the original Verdansk map. Activision announced in March that it's working on a mobile version of Call of Duty Warzone, free-to-play game, which was released in March 2020 and attracted 100 million players in 13 months. All these FPSs are going mobile, right? I mean, it's across the board. PUBG, Fortnite, Call of Duty, all Apex, all of them, man. Game is currently in closed alpha testing following a series of invites sent out by the publisher to select players. Our mission with Project Aurora, the codename for our new mobile title, is to bring friends, families, and people around the world together in a global community of diverse players with a fast-paced, precise, and high-quality battle royale action experience that delivers a fresh new way to play. They added, the closed alpha is limited in size, and with it we are looking to simply start to improve tuning, stress test matches, identify and fix bugs, as well as collect feedback and insights on all aspects of the game as new features come online. Activision plans to open the Warzone mobiles testing further in the future. Last August, the company confirmed the formation of an internal mobile game development studio called Solid State, which was established to develop the new entry in the Call of Duty series. Cool. There you go. So a little bit of some leaked info there regarding Call of Duty's new mobile title. Alrighty. Well, I'm sure we'll hear more about it as it gets closer to that game actually releasing and everything. Switch network failure prevents users from accessing eShop and digital games. I'm going to read all of this first, and then we'll have a bit of discussion here. If you've been having online difficulties with your Nintendo Switch earlier today, it's not just you. Nintendo's network services have been experiencing some problems, supposedly preventing users from not only accessing the Switch eShop, but also launching applications and certain digital games from the home menu. Nintendo appears to have resolved this problem after a number of hours, issuing the following notices over time on its customer support Twitter account. Currently a network failure. These are the like tweets that went out by them, right? Currently a network failure is occurring due to the use of download software on Nintendo Switch. We apologize for the inconvenience, but please wait for a while until the restoration. Currently Nintendo Switch is carrying out emergency maintenance of the Nintendo eShop. We apologize for the inconvenience, but please wait for a while until the maintenance is completed. The troubles related to the use of download software, etc., that occurred around 5:30 on June 5th have been recovered. We apologize for the inconvenience. It appears that Nintendo's e-license, the DRM servers, are having problems today. This problem appears to have been ongoing for a few hours now. Seen reports of users not being able to access the eShop or start digital software due to license checks failing. Yeah, so here's the deal, man. This is something that we've talked about a lot here recently and happens quite often. It's inevitable that because the way the technology is evolving and the way that we have adapted to the way technology evolves is to move more towards having digital libraries of games rather than physical copies, right? But this is where things get sketchy in regards to that. And Xbox has dealt with their issues here lately. Sony's has dealt with their issues on that front here lately. This is not uncommon. Was a few months ago, Sony was dealing with an issue where their digital games were not inaccessible. Their network was up, servers were up, but what was happening was a lot of these online digital titles that people owned were incorporating this weird like expiration date for the games, where you would try to access the title, try to play the title, and it would basically go, "Sorry, this game's expired." Like it's a I don't know, like a box of cereal or something that went bad, and it just wouldn't let you play it. even though you owned the game. They had some really weird issues like that going on. I think they got all that resolved. But then Xbox had online. Their servers went down, and um, they apparently are the worst platform out there for not being able to play most of their games if it can't do an online check. Um, we're talking a lot of like, especially digital games that you already had downloaded and stuff like that. It it wouldn't let you play them if it couldn't reach their servers, right? And their DRM servers were messed up. So, and here's Nintendo, same thing. Servers go down, you're losing out on being able to actually access your titles. So, there's definitely something to be said for still maintaining some portion of your collection physical, because while this isn't like something that is consistently happening all the time, it does happen. These companies have issues where we are not able to access the titles that we legitimately own, right? And I would just prompt people to keep that in mind when you're going, I don't need physical copies anymore. All I need is my digital stuff. If the servers are unreachable, if your internet goes down, what have you, quite often you're not going to be able to access that content. So it's again, it's really tough to want to maintain any semblance of a physical collection anymore because it's very cumbersome. It's not something that appeals to us. We want our library at our fingertips. Select the game, download it, play it. Uh, no putting cartridges in, no putting discs in, anything like that. It's a monotonous process. It doesn't feel good, and digital is much easier. So I understand it, and a lot of my library nowadays is that same way. But just keep that in mind because it might not be a bad thing to have some physical copies laying around in your back pocket. That way you can ensure that you're going to have some game time if servers go down for these companies. It happens. All right. Fans call on Sega to delay Sonic Frontiers following gameplay reveal. Um, Hashtag delay Sonic Frontiers was briefly trending on Twitter as many fans criticized footage. Fans have called on Sega to delay Sonic Frontiers following their criticism of a recent gameplay reveal. Um, Hashtag delay Sonic Frontiers was briefly trending on Twitter this week after many Sonic fans took to the social media platform to vent their disappointment over the first video showing the game in action. Sega has partnered with website IGN this month to debut the first look at the upcoming open world Sonic game. So far, it's published a 7-minute open world video and another video focused on combat. Really? Huh. The footage appears to have, we'll probably watch this right now. The footage appears to have received a significant amount of criticism from the series' most engaged fans. At the time of publishing, IGN's gameplay premiere has nearly 50,000 dislikes on YouTube compared to 72,000 likes, while the combat footage has 19,000 dislikes compared to the 35,000 likes. Meanwhile, thousands of users have used the hashtag DelaySonicFrontiers hashtag on Twitter, according to the platform's own analytics, which caused it to briefly trend this week. Key among fans' criticisms of Frontiers are what they're calling stiff animations, a sparse game world, and the perceived lack of momentum from the titular player character. Sonic Frontiers, this is a quote, Sonic Frontiers looks like they made an open world game automated, wrote YouTuber Lonely Goomba. Nice name. It's so weird that gameplay demo had so many dash panels into springs and automation. I'm nervous about this game. That demo did not look great. I'm one of the biggest Sonic fans on planet Earth. This is another quote. But this game did not do it for me, said Sam Procrastinates in his own video reaction. Based on this video, I'm worried for Sonic Frontiers. I was so excited. I've waited 5 years for this and I'm not happy. I'm very been there, done that. Yeah, if this is what Sonic is going to be like for the next 10 years, then we are in trouble. Some fans are calling on Sega to release a demo of Frontier so that fans can provide proper feedback that could be fed into development. Look, I mean, especially with games that are very well known, series IPs that are very well known and have a large fan base. But I mean, across the board in game development, one of the best things devs can do is incorporate us as gamers, as lovers of video games, into testing product, from time to time to get a bit of feedback in regards to overall consensus, what the game is doing well and potentially what the game is doing not well. So the developer can pivot and make the game as much of a nice experience for what feedback has provided to them in regards to the consumer, us as the consumer of these games. This is exactly what I want them to do, wrote user TI, or Ty. An indefinite delay coinciding with a demo. A questionnaire with the demo would be a good way to gauge opinions. Absolutely. Sega has recent Oh, Sega has recent form for U-turning. That was reading really weird to me first. Following widespread fan criticism, of course. The Hedgehog's original movie design was completely changed after its poor reception in trailers. Do you remember what the original Sonic character looked like? It was nightmare fuel until they got so much backlash that they changed the appearance of the character. However, commenting on the discourse, Finn Jocelyn, who is the founder of fan site Sonic Stadium and also global publishing director at IGN, said he was less optimistic that Sega would be able to fix fans' core concerns with Frontiers. That feels bad, man. Another quote. Hashtag delay Sonic Frontiers won't work because for me, main concern is about its entire concept and gameplay approach. A delay to kill bugs and add content isn't going to address that, he wrote. Hashtag Sonic Frontiers appears to want to be a hyper-realistic combat-focused Sonic game that draws from the movies. That leans on Sonic's athleticism rather than physics momentum-based play. And that's fine if that's the goal. It's just not the Sonic game I was hoping for in 2022. Another quote, I'll still assess it on its merits. If it all gets polished up between now and winter, it might be a real fun time for fans looking for this sort of thing, but a delay isn't going to be necessary, I think. Sonic Team has its goals set. It's moving forward with this. Accept it. Let's take a look at this. Let's watch this real quick. I mean, that's honestly one of the best things that developers can do is whether it be a demo with a questionnaire or some kind of feedback system, forums, Reddit. There are many devs that use Reddit, releasing games in early access or just demoing them out, letting people have a taste of what the game is providing so you can get some feedback from the people who are going to be buying the product. And the thing is, this needs to be something that this comes back ultimately to communication between developers and the consumer base, us as video game lovers. And it should be a continual process throughout development. Not that we're always going to have something to get our hands on, but there's definitely stuff that information-wise can be brought to the community so that we can provide a little bit of feedback and try to help developers make the best possible product for us that they can. But most time developers are terrible at communication. They don't provide roadmaps. They don't let us in, and I understand an extent of it is going to be because they don't want to leak info, right? But on the flip side of that, they're going to run the risk of creating a terrible product that's just a waste of money for them, you know? Let's watch this.
June 2022 is all about Sonic Frontiers. We've got gameplay, we've got previews, and we've got interviews from the developers who made it.
This was
happen.
a cinematic.
All month long, we'll be diving deep into what you can expect when the game makes its way to you later down the road. First up, we've got the world premiere gameplay focusing on exploring the mysterious island that Sonic suddenly finds himself stranded on at the start of the game. Be sure to stick with IGN throughout June so you don't miss anything. Until then, here's your first look at gameplay from Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah, that was all the cinematic stuff right there, right? So here's the gameplay. We had already seen cinematics. Oh, let's go, baby. Get that grind on. That was some nice moonwalking there. That looks terrible. Why does Sonic walking around look so janky? And the game actually looks, just appearance-wise, looks decent, in my opinion. Now, I wasn't talking about gameplay or anything, I just meant like the actual graphics-wise and everything looks okay. What do you guys think? I mean, like I'm not like a Sonic fanatic or anything, but my impressions and just based off of like what I'm hearing right here, like looks like they made an open world game automated, right? So weird gameplay demo had so many dash panels and springs and automation. That's a traditional part of Sonic games, isn't it? Like springboards and all the rails to kind of run or grind along and um, now obviously most traditional Sonic games were 2D platformer kind of side scrolling games, right? So incorporating like how do you pivot into open world from that? And that's different people are going to have a different vision for what that would look like and apparently every Sony Sega's I'm guessing team behind this game and their vision for what the game was needing to be, it was this. I'll say I think the thing that doesn't interest me too much about it is it just looked like it was going to be very repetitive. I don't know. For me, it just looked like you're just going to be doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over in just different ways. And that's not something that gets me very excited. I didn't really see them going after it, like hardly any like enemy kind of situations or I don't know. I don't know. And it was a small gameplay sample, so who knows what the entire game will entail. But I will say that that gameplay, and I'm not a big Sonic fan, anyways. But just as a lover of video games, that gameplay did not get me hyped up for sure. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys have thoughts. Let me know. But I think that's the thing is like at this point, well, we're well on the way to this game being released, right? So people going delay the game. I don't like it. Uh, well, you want them to completely redevelop the entire game? I mean, that's not going to happen, man. You know, maybe smaller things here. Like I definitely noticed where like Sonic walking around looked like Sonic was just like kind of struggling, like moonwalking and stuff. It looked like and that's a concern. Um, but aside from like bug fixes and a little bit of polishing and stuff like that, they're far enough along into this development process and close enough to the release now that you're not going to get them to like remake this game right now. It's not going to happen. I would say that's highly unlikely. So all right, there we go. See how that turns out pretty soon. Actually, later this year. End of turn based Final Fantasy was inevitable, but I'm still sad to see it go. Final Fantasy radically reinvents itself between installments, but Final Fantasy 16's action focus feels like a point of no return. Big centerpiece of Sony's E3 season. State of play this year was the new trailer for Final Fantasy 16, revealing its summer 2023 release date, showing off Titanic summons and action-heavy combat. That last point is what I'd like to focus on. It looks rad with protagonist Clive Rosfield, zipping around the battlefield like a rejected member of Devil May Cry 5's murderous Twink Boy band. Still, I find it hard to escape the feeling that this is the end of something. Uh, the Final Fantasy series' decisive move away from the turn based combat that initiated its legacy and popularized a genre. It's been a long time coming. Combat in 13 and its sequels, 15 and the Final Fantasy VII Remake, is practically unrecognizable compared to the old Super Nintendo and PS1 games. Final Fantasy has always aggressively reinvented itself between numbered installments, though, with individual games forming the anchors of many franchises on their own, most famously with the compilation of Final Fantasy VII. New Final Fantasy games preserve core concepts and mechanics while taking us to radically different settings. Each has pushed the bounds of what JRPG combat even looks like. Final Fantasy 15 and the remake of 7 already reached the point of being action RPG hybrids. Tim Rogers' excellent and very long review of the Final Fantasy VII Remake includes the critique that Final Fantasy VII Remake's devs almost seem to have wanted to make a character action game instead. Menus, items, and upgrade systems basically serve an obfuscating, uh, comforting purpose, as if to say, this is still Final Fantasy, this is still a JRPG as you know it. With recent mainline entries edging so close to full action game territory, perhaps it was time to cut the cord. For all its flaws, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins showed how well the monsters' aesthetics and job system of classic Final Fantasy could gel with refined Team Ninja action. Final Fantasy 16 shares Stranger of Paradise's commitment to the Final Fantasy aesthetic, putting the series' classic summons front and center of a story with the melodrama I've come to demand in so many popular nouns. In some ways, it's still very much Final Fantasy. Even with the series' gradual turn towards action, I've always felt there was still some continuity with prior games. But the high-flying Bayonetta-esque gameplay on display with Final Fantasy 16 feels like a final curtain call on all the turn-based combat puzzles that really hooked me. This is the true farewell to the OG of ATB. You can't say you don't know that for a fact. This individual doesn't know that for a fact. We'll talk about this in a second. When I first played Final Fantasy VII, I felt cheated by the turn-based combat. I already watched clips of the high-flying anime stuff from its feature-length movie sequel, Advent Children, you see, and the game was a hair more subdued. These days, I not only appreciate that unique pace and mechanical depth, I also relish the contrast between the Final Fantasy VII cinematic aspirations and the reality of what Squaresoft could pull off at the time. Its charming relic of technical restraints, which you don't really see in games anymore. Falling away of certain aesthetic and mechanical styles born of technological limitations was probably fate, but I can still mourn their passing. At least there's always Dragon Quest, baby. Number 12 is on the way, and you know that if Yuji Horii turned it into an action RPG, all of Japan would riot. If the unthinkable happens, catch me with a wrathfully nostalgic crowd pelting his car with our 3DS XLs. This is just one person's viewpoint here, and this is what I'll say. First of all, Dragon Quest is much, much, much more popular in Japan than it is in the Western world here. That doesn't mean it's not good, but that's just the way it is. Now, um, I don't. You can't really deny the fact that Final Fantasy for quite a long time now has definitely been pivoting away from turn-based combat. Right? Um, it's become less and less and less something that is part of their titles, as opposed to just like an ARPG kind of environment most of the time. That doesn't mean they can't go back to it, though. If they started off, and they did, the game started off completely turn based, right? And they were embraced. They've been embraced for the entire iteration of the series in the way that they've changed that over the years, and I don't see any reason why, if they wanted to go back and have another iteration of Final Fantasy that was more turn based than it was ARPG action based, that people wouldn't embrace that too. Just because they've pivoted this way at this point doesn't mean that they wouldn't necessarily ever go back. I don't know. I disagree with that notion, anyways. But Yeah, I mean, there's no denying the fact that the Final Fantasy games have definitely taken a more action RPG stance and really turned away from the turn based that was the core of their gameplay, especially in the early years. Yep. Night Dive wants to remaster the original Unreal next. Let's go, dude. Our community member Queen Guinevere was just talking about how her and her family, like parents and siblings and stuff, will get down on like basically LAN party Quake games and stuff, wasn't it? I think it was Queen that was talking about that, right? I think it was. Last year, Night Dive Studios released a Quake remaster, giving the classic FPS 4K and widescreen resolution support, enhanced models, dynamic and colored lighting, anti-aliasing, depth of field, and some new levels by Machine Games. It also restored the original Trent Reznor score, previously absent from the digital version due to an expired copyright, added a new theme song by Reznor, all that, and it was free for owners of the original Quake. Uh, According to a tweet by Night Dive CEO Stephen Kick, following the Quake remaster, Cliff Bleszinski contacted Epic CEO Tim Sweeney on Night Dive's behalf. The co-designer of 1998's Unreal suggested it deserved a similar remaster. I guess if you want that, leave a message to let Tim know. Kick finished. Okay. Blazinski responded only to explain that he was not saying anything for legal reasons. Sweeney has yet to reply. While the Unreal series became known for its multiplayer, the original had an impressive single-player mode that opened with an intense prison ship escape sequence. After that, it opened up into huge alien spaces that showed off the then new Unreal Engine's graphical possibilities. Though it was also noted for atmospheric sound design, alt-firing weapon variety, and the challenging AI behind its alien enemies, the Scourge. As Steve Owen said in our Unreal review at the time, the sprightly creatures leap away from oncoming projectiles, hide behind walls, and shoot from there. If they are close to death, they run away and try to shoot you from a further vantage point. And because they are bigger than you, they frequently outdistance you quickly. If an obstacle is between you, or if they just feel like it, they might find an alternative way to get to you, attacking from behind. Simply put, if a Scourge runs away, keep one eye on your SIGs, as they say in Top Gun. Night Dive Studios is responsible for remasters and re-releases of old games, including Blood, Doom 64, Sin, Power Slave, Strife, Shadow Man, and more. Right now, Night Dive is working on a remake of the original System Shock, due later this year. Yep, we're aware of that, which has been long in the works. As we saw in March, that remake is finally near completion. That would be cool, man. That would be cool. There's so many great old games that, you know, deserve to be brought back. Unreal, man, is definitely one of those. Some of those Unreal titles for sure. Up. Amazon Games has more online games in the pipeline. Amazon is trying very hard to build itself up as a worthy competitor in the gaming space, even though it has had some struggles over the last few years. Gamer, what is up, my dude? What's up, buddy? Its first truly big game, Crucible, launched in May of 2020 before returning to a closed beta status later that summer. In October of that same year, the game was essentially canceled and shut down after it was decided the game didn't have a sustainable future. It was a pretty public failure, but Amazon built itself back up with the immensely popular MMO New World and Lost Ark. Uh, Both games have had tremendous success and allowed Amazon to cement itself as a proper games publisher. Let me stop there for a second. New World did okay on release, but New World had significant issues, and it's basically died off. How many concurrent New World players are there right now? No, that's fine, buddy. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. Yeah. I mean, I get that, dude. Nobody should ever. Dude, I was tripping, man. I was tripping. I read the current New World population is 8 billion, dude. I was like, what? I was tripping there for a second. Yo, you're good, buddy. I appreciate you being here. Don't ever feel like you have to be active in chat and stuff. Just being here and being part of the content, viewing the content, that's much appreciated, buddy. Uh, Now, there's a difference between registered players and the current active player base. Uh, okay. I guess it's still doing better than I thought it was. Um, so this is back when it released, right? We're talking right around here is when the game released last year, and 1.6 mil as opposed to today, 136,000. Yeah, so 136,000. Not doing great. Not doing great. Now, they had significant issues. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because people like, I see articles doing this to developers all the time and publishers, right? There's a big difference. Amazon developed and published New World. Amazon did not develop Lost Ark. They only helped publish Lost Ark in the Western Hemisphere of the world. Lost Ark is developed by Smilegate. And Lost Ark was already published in the Eastern Hemisphere of the world. It had been out for 3+ years. Amazon helped get it over here to the western part of the world, which was great. But this statement here acts like New World has done great. New World has not done great. It did pretty well at launch, but they had significant issues that really killed the population in that game. Duping issues with basically the economy got absolutely ruined. The economy in the game got ruined. Whereas Lost Ark has been a pretty nice hit here in the Western Hemisphere. It has been for a long time in the eastern part of the world. And Amazon is reaping some of those benefits because Amazon is the publisher of Lost Ark now. But they are not the dev of that game either. So there's a big difference between a company doing a decent job in like publishing and them being a reliable, good game developer. There's a stark contrast between both of those things. So we have yet to really see Amazon deliver an outstanding product. I think that New World was very, very good on release, but they did not sustain that game very well. For what they made that game to be, which is an MMORPG, they had some significant issues that kind of ruined the game for a lot of people. And I don't think they've been pumping out content for that game like you have to do for a live service game. So I just want to make that very clear. This article is not explicit enough in detailing what's really going on here. Seems Amazon is looking to continue to make big games as they've signed a deal with Disruptive Games to publish a new online multiplayer action adventure game. The Untitled multi-platform game will have cooperative and competitive play, with further details being held for a later date. Amazon Games used this announcement to reaffirm its commitment to gaming, something that was in some doubt after reports about how the division was run surfaced in 2021. This is a quote from them. At Amazon Games, we're focused on developing and publishing high-quality games that foster strong communities, keep people playing for years to come, said Christoph Hartman, VP, Amazon Games. We're accomplishing this by creating our own IPs and selectively publishing external projects from stellar teams like Disruptive Games. The talented team at Disruptive Games is creating a fresh take on the multiplayer action-adventure genre with strong game design and rich world building that we are excited to help bring to players. As of right now, it's unclear when Disruptive Games' new title will be released or when we will learn more, but hopefully it won't be long. Amazon is clearly taking risks by trying to establish new IPs, rather than buying other teams to utilize their IPs for themselves. So far, it appears to be working out quite well, even if it took some time to get there. Here's another thing, and I've talked about this a lot here recently, because there are so many companies pivoting into gaming, right? Even one of the biggest companies in the world, Amazon, is not guaranteed to have success in the gaming industry. It is a different kind of beast. And obviously, I mean, we see it happening constantly. TikTok's trying to move into gaming. Netflix is moving into gaming. Apple's trying to make their own console and get ingrained in. The only thing Apple really has right now is their streaming service, and they are what apparently is considered to be making a lot of money on gaming, even though they're not really making any kind of gaming content. It's because they take such a large cut of money that other developers would normally make just by because they have their games on the Apple App Store. So Apple's considered to make a lot of money in gaming, but I think that's false. They don't. It shouldn't be considered gaming industry revenue. It should be considered tech industry revenue. But we see it every day. New entertainment companies trying to pivot into the gaming market, being developers and publishers, and especially on the development side of things, it is not easy. It's easier to have notoriety, a name you can build off of, and a large amount of capital to invest in creating a nice gaming development arm within your company, right? Or division. But it does not guarantee success. Because ultimately it comes down to how us as gamers feel about what you're releasing as content, right? And if you're not good at what you do, you're going to get blasted for it. And you're going to fail. We've seen it time and time again. And the reason I bring it up is just because this is another one of those topics that really is talking about a company that wasn't originally part of, they didn't get big because of gaming. They got big off of other things and are pivoting into gaming, right? So it's important to keep that in mind. I think Amazon is making strides, but again, Crucible, an absolute failure. New World didn't do great. What stats come into play with a game server, whether it be MMO or single player, with keeping the servers up? Obviously, the population amount of gamers utilizing the server. Going through Watch Dogs right now, there seems to always be people online for the most part. Yet with Uncharted, I believe the servers are shut down. Well, and a lot of that has to do with the company themselves, right? Like, I mean, I think that you're definitely hitting on the main part there, which is how many people are utilizing those servers, right? That's going to be the main stat line for a company, a game dev, to take a look at. Is it worth maintaining that server space for that game, right? In particular. Uh, really? Anthem servers are still up? Dude, that's wild. Here's the thing, and we've seen it here recently too. Ubisoft, for example, right? That's crazy gamer. I didn't know that. Ubisoft here recently cleaned up a ton of server space by taking down a lot of online servers for significantly old titles, right? So, and I would assume that a lot of those older titles didn't have a large player base still playing the games. But I I give kudos to those companies that maintain servers for games for a long time, because ultimately what happens quite often is games are built around being having online systems, right? And when those online systems are taken down, uh, quite often the game is unplayable, or significant parts of the game become uh, no longer possible, right? Take for instance, like the Dark Souls games. Dark Souls games are not necessarily entirely online games, right? But they have significant online components. And for the entirety of like this year so far, the online servers for Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 have been shut down on PC because of some significant issues. And what it takes away from the game is the multiplayer. It takes away the ability to share like you know, the messages with other people in their games and stuff like that. There's a lot of incorporation that goes along with it. So while not every game having the servers shut down makes the game unplayable, it takes away significant components of what makes those games all encompassing, the experience all encompassing, right? And I don't know, man. I obviously a lot of it's going to do with the current player base and everything, but some of it just comes down to the company themselves. And I can tell you that one of the reasons why I think we're starting to see some of those older servers be shut down and things like that is because the chip shortage, right? The chip shortage right now makes it difficult for a lot of these companies to keep building up server space for the new games they're creating, because you just can't buy enough tech hardware right now with the chip shortages over the past couple of years. So what they're doing is they're eliminating a lot of those old servers for those older games, so they can actually utilize that space for their newer titles. Um, but yeah, I think you nailed it. Ultimately, that's gonna be the thought is, uh, well, I am not surprised that you feel that way, buddy. You're a trophy chaser, dude. Uh, so again, it's I mean, I can't actually. And I think a large portion of it is achievements as a whole are things that are brought to the table by the developer, right? Not every platform does achievements and stuff, but I would say if you took a game from Steam and you looked at the achievements on Steam for that game and the same game on, say, Xbox or PlayStation, many of the achievements are going to be closely aligned, right? I think because for the most part, the developer uh, brings that stuff. Yeah. Um, I think that each platform they're a little bit different, but for the most part, I think the core of the achievements come from the developer, because nobody knows the game like the developer does, right? So um, I think there are a few specific for each platform, but for the most part, yeah. Uh, now that's tough, right? I mean, that's another thing you're talking about where, um, but there are differences as well, yeah, because uh, again, it's those situations where, like, take Steam for instance on PC. If a server is shut down for a game, it doesn't necessarily mean that game isn't entirely playable anymore. It just means that some of those capabilities within the game might not be there. Yeah, so you can still probably play some of those titles on Steam, um, but there might be some of those achievements you can't get anymore, right? Look, I mean that's the way it works, though, dude. Ultimately, any game that has any kind of live service kind of capability, um, and requires servers to maintain that capability, um, eventually that'll go away. I think it's inevitable for the most part. What you will find is that being there are so many passionate people in the gaming community and industry that what you will see, I think, is that to an extent, especially for very, very loved games, classic loved games, cult classics, that have really found places in many people's hearts. There will be other companies and just gamers in general that set up some kind of server for people to continue playing in with all those capabilities, right? But eventually things just die off, man. They just die off. So I don't know. I don't think there's any specific answer to that. But you bring up some very good points, and it was that's some good discussion to have for sure. Um, I don't know. I don't know. We could talk about that one. All the ins and outs and variables that could go into that. We could talk about it for a long time. But you bring up some good points, man. Um, Marvel's Midnight Suns leak reveals Spider Man, Scarlet Witch, and a release day. Info slipped out thanks to a leak of cover art and pre order information. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Give me some Wolverine. Huh? I've always dug Iron Man too. A late 2021 delay pushed Marvel's Midnight Suns, the turn based. Now, we're actually getting a Wolverine game, right? We are getting a Wolverine title. Uh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I hope it's good. A late 2021 delay pushed Marvel's Midnight Suns, the turn based tactical RPG being developed by XCOM studio Fireaxis, into the second half of 2022. An official release date still hasn't been announced, but it may have slipped out thanks to leaked box art and pre order details. Leaked images have been taken offline by a copyright claim issued by 2K Games, although they're still easy enough to find if you're interested. But as noted by Niles Arinsmeyer on Twitter, they indicated an October 6th release date and that 3 editions will be available: the standard, enhanced, and so the enhanced has 5 premium skins for Captain America, Captain Marvel, Magic, Nico Minoru. I don't even know who that is. Sister Grimm. I don't even know who that is. And Wolverine. And a legendary edition with 23 premium skins and the 4 DLC season pass. That's the big thing right there. 9 of the 12 Marvel heroes who will appear in Midnight Suns are already known. Doctor Strange, like me some Doctor Strange too. I can't wait to see the next movie. Magic, Iron Man, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, Blade, Captain America, Nico, and Captain Marvel. And the box art leak revealed 2 more: Spider-Man and the Scarlet Witch. That leaves one character still unaccounted for. Could it actually be Morbin time? For real? No way, dude. They're going to put Morbius in this? While the player will take on the role of a 13th hero known as the Hunter. Interestingly, the Legendary Edition also features alternate cover art that replaces the good guys with bad guys. Oh, let's go, dude. Lilith, mother of demons and chief antagonist, flanked by demonic versions of characters including Venom, the Hulk, and Sabretooth, who was previously shown in a gameplay demo. Venom and Hulk are new, and it's not a huge leap to assume that you'll be throwing hands with these folks and possibly other Marvel villains and heroes as you quest to save the world. There's another evil character on the cover who's a bit harder to identify, but it's possibly a demonic Scarlet Witch. Certainly wouldn't be the first time Wanda's allegiance was unclear. All of this is unconfirmed, but I'd expect to have official word come down soon. Summer Games Fest, which will feature games from dozens of publishers and developers, set to kick off 2022 E3 season, even though there's no E3 this year. Yeah, I'll just throw this in chat because I do it like every day. We've got all these. This is a nice comprehensive list. Again, a lot of the showcases coming within the next week and a few in July and August too. So, but we'll be trying to watch as many of them here in the channel live as possible. And if we can't watch them live, we'll watch them a VOD later. It depends. It depends. What brand of mouse do you have, gamer? So it depends. Sometimes a game will be optimized well enough that it will recognize button presses on the side of your mouse as being a separate button from anything else a peripheral has altogether. It's its own input, right? But other games, and BioShock games are older, and especially older games, they don't necessarily identify those button presses as any kind of unique input, okay? So quite often what you'll need to do is find some kind of software that usually mice will have their own software you can utilize. I use Logitech mouse, and so quite often I will use their inherent software for the device, and it allows me to go in and basically just put whatever input I want on whatever buttons I want. Okay. Do a bit of a Google search and see if there's any kind of just nice universal mouse software out there that you might be able to use to map your mouse buttons with. Do a bit of a search and see what you can come up with. I've been using these mice forever, so I don't know of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's something out there. There are certain games that will recognize those inputs, and then there's certain games that won't. So it's kind of hard to determine. If you're trying to map those and you're clicking those buttons on your mouse and it's not mapping the buttons, that game probably just doesn't have that capability. So what you'll need to do is actually run some kind of software that allows you to set up the buttons on the mouse to be whatever button coincides with what you're trying to do in game, right? So it would just basically take that button input and recognize it as like, tab or whatever, right? But yeah, do a little bit of a search online, see if you can find anything decent. Just be careful, make sure you're getting software from legitimate sources and not from sketchy sites or anything like that, right? Remind me before I start playing Valheim. I'll see if I can come up with anything for you. I've just been using. Symbol looks like a spider. You got a Spider-Man mouse. I don't know. Remind me after the news segment. I'll try to do a little bit of looking real quick and see if I can help you out. Okay. Just I haven't had to look at any other software. I've been using these same mice forever, man, and I really enjoy them. So if a game doesn't inherently have the ability for me to map with my mouse buttons inside the game itself, I just always use Logitech's software because that's the mouse I have. But I'll help out in just a bit, okay? Let me finish this news segment. I'll see if I can figure something out for you. So there we go. Marvel's Midnight Suns. content leaked. Escape from Tarkov Arena will be a new standalone FPS. The spin-off will feature PvP and PvE, gladiatorial combat, and beta testing starts this year. Escape from Tarkov developer Battlestate Games announced on Friday that the arena mode players have been expecting is a standalone game project. Called Escape from Tarkov Arena, the spin-off will play like the existing Escape from Tarkov game, says the studio, but rather than high-stakes looting and extraction, it will center on gladiatorial combat in arenas situated throughout the city of Tarkov. It's easy enough to grok the concept. People like Escape from Tarkov, so let's see if its shooting works in a different, more condensed format. It's not just a deathmatch game, though. Battlestate says the arena will include both PvP and PvE modes, a progression system with weapon and gear unlocks, and the option for owners of Escape from Tarkov to play as their main profile characters. New and existing owners and Escape from Tarkov's $140 Edge of Darkness pack are promised free access to all future DLC, and this will count. So they'll get it at no additional charge. For owners of the other Escape from Tarkov editions, Arena will be paid DLC. Will also be available as a standalone game, Battlestate says. Escape from Tarkov Arena is a standalone game project, the studio wrote. A session-based multiplayer first-person shooter for PC with all the known and beloved hardcore game mechanics of Escape from Tarkov. The distinction is somewhat muddy, especially when you take into account that Escape from Tarkov technically hasn't released yet. So Edge of Darkness and the other editions are still advertised as pre-orders. So you can pre-order, quote-unquote, pre-order a game which you can play now, and with your pre-order get an upcoming spin-off of that game as DLC, but it's a standalone game, likely before the original game has technically released. That's just video games in 2022. It's best to just accept it, carry on. Point here is that it's clearly more than just a new mode. Battlestate hasn't said how much Escape from Tarkov Arena will cost if purchased as DLC or a standalone game, but it won't be out for a little while yet. Closed beta testing is scheduled to start this fall. Okay, cool. Yeah, people love Escape from Tarkov, so probably a good move from the dev here on the part of trying to incorporate this new game mode. See how it goes. Start Bioshock only opens a small window, can't enlarge. I mean, can you see the settings, the video settings in the game? What you're probably going to need to do is set it to full screen. Again, Bioshock is a very old game, especially the first one. So you're probably going to need to go into your video settings and configure things a bit. I don't know. It's a very old game. 2007. We're talking 2007, man. Like 15 years old. So you're gonna probably need to see if you can get into the video settings. Make sure that it's set to full screen, and probably what are you running, like a 1080p resolution? Make sure it's set 1900 by 1080, and see if that helps. Best gaming computer monitor deals on Amazon ahead of Amazon Prime Day. Usually, there are a lot of older games, buddy, that just are kind of wonky when you first start them up. And if you're having some issues getting everything to run smoothly, as far as like full screen resolution, stuff like that, just a quick Google search regarding that title and the issue you're having will pull you into some forums that really will help you figure things out pretty quick. I mean, I'll help the best I can, but it's I need a little bit more information about what's going on and what you've tried. If you have a good graphics card, you're going to want a worthy gaming monitor to get the most out of it. Luckily, Amazon has some of the best gaming computer monitor deals going on now. Ahead of Amazon Prime Day, you can find deep discounts on monitors from Samsung, LG, Asus, and more. Best large gaming monitor. Now, I couldn't imagine spending $1,700, $1,800 really on a gaming monitor. 49-inch Samsung Odyssey Neo G9 4K gaming monitor. $1,700. Favorite LG deal, 32-inch adjustable gaming monitor for $300 or so, $400 down from $600. Good gaming monitor at a great price. 32-inch Samsung Odyssey G3 ultra wide for $250. It's about what, $80 off. Plenty of computer monitors out there, but not all computer monitors are well suited for gaming. You'll want a monitor with high resolution display, fast response times, and a high refresh rate for the best PC gaming experience. We've compiled the top gaming computer monitor deals on Amazon right now. In addition to gaming computer monitors, Amazon Prime Day 2022 is going to have plenty of amazing deals. Amazon deals, yeah. However, you don't have to wait to find them. Amazon is already slashing prices on great products. Score gaming chair deals, TV deals, Apple deals, headphone, earbud deals, laptop deals, furniture deals, and more right now. The Asus TUF gaming monitor features a curved monitor, 1080p display, 1 millisecond response time, and 144 hertz refresh rate. So for $250 there. The 28-inch Samsung Odyssey G70A, that is a 4K gaming monitor, 4K ultra high def resolution, 1 millisecond response time, and 144 hertz refresh rate. Also has NVIDIA G-Sync compatibility. This is the 49-inch that they were talking about. I've never used a curved monitor, ever. Anybody else have one? 24-inch Scepter curved LED monitor. Budget-friendly monitor, 1080p LED display, 8 millisecond response time, 75 hertz refresh rate, for $140. You do? Yeah, you like it? Right on, Varia. Cool. Yeah, I've just never, I never really bought into it, man. Does it seem like the bigger the monitor is, the better? This is the way it seems to me. The bigger your monitor would be, the more you would get out of it being curved. Does that make sense? Right. Okay. Yeah. I've just never experienced it. I mean, right. Yeah. I mean, my primary monitor is just a 27-inch, but I like the size of it. If I ever went bigger, I think I would definitely want to be trying curved because at this point I sit really close to my monitors too. What's up, Varia? It's good to see you, buddy. I sit pretty close, my setup and everything. So obviously, the bigger your monitor is, the more, if it's your primary monitor and you're gaming on it and stuff, the more distance you need to be able to see the entire screen, right? Yo, random mode time. What size is yours, Varia? Oh, dude, I won a sub for myself! Woo! I did it! Finally! Yo, I get a sub. Nice. Second winner, baby! Second winner of the Rando Mote game. Hold on. This is wild. This is wild. Can't believe I finally won, dude. Sick. Great. Windowed mode on? Yeah, gamer. That's what I figured. It's something probably like that, yeah. Let me see something real quick, guys. I can't believe that just happened, dude. That's wild. You got it all figured out. It looks better now, though, gamer. One second. All right. Cool. There we go. There we go. There we go, baby.
Now that we're friends, is it okay if I pet you?
Yo, Nico got a sub. Check that out.
OutsiderAntics just gifted 1 sub.
Random moat winner, baby. Let's go. All right. Cool. Nice, dude. So that's what I'll do whenever I win. Can't give myself a sub, so we'll give somebody else a sub. How about that? Feels good, dude. Feels good. I can't believe it, dude. Second winner. Second winner. Metal was the first. I've been waiting, dude. Yeah, good gamer. I'm glad. I probably won't look at the rest of these. I really want to find that site. See if I can find this site. This is it. Yo, this is actually a site that I really, really like. I couldn't remember the name of it right now. If you guys aren't familiar with our teams, rting.com, rtings.com. This is a site where you can actually go in and look at like professional reviews of different products, and you can actually compare different, like, you know, all kinds of different tech types and stuff, tech or product types and things like that, right? So let's go for like a hyper. Where's the hypers at? There we go. We'll go with a Hyper Alpha S, and then we'll go with where's the Arctic at? Oh, it's not Arctic. It's Steel Series. Go with the primes. So again, so you can actually pull up products like this and compare them. It'll show you different prices. It'll give you their reviews on these, what their verdict would be about which one is the better product to go with, the different types of stats, just all kinds of stuff. You can see right here. Oh, we picked some that were very close to one another as well. And they give ratings on all different things across the board for like products and stuff. So you'll see like neutral sound. The Hyper's got a 7.2, where the SteelSeries got a 7.4, right? Bass accuracy was much higher on the SteelSeries, and a little bit treble accuracy, a little bit. Just stuff like that. You can see all kinds of like compare and contrast for comfort. The HyperX were a little bit better. Controls, right? All kinds of stuff. Breathability, portability. This is just in regards to headphones specifically right here too, right? So you're gonna do this with all kinds of different products, and it's a pretty cool site. I actually need to bookmark this, but I'll just give you the there's a pretty cool site if you're looking to buy like maybe a monitor or whatever, right? And you're not sure what monitor you want to go with. You got a price range. You can find some different makes and models that are very comparable, and see what the website actually gives as far as which one might be the better buy, stuff like that. It's a really cool site. I like it a lot. But I'll throw this in chat as well. Okay. If you're interested in these different monitors, if there's some that look like you might be interested in, maybe use the rating site as well and see what they had to say about the reviews of these products. Not every product will always be on there, but you can find a lot of them. Roblox investors could be playing a dangerous game. Roblox hinted at another robust quarter, but competition looms in the metaverse. The metaverse. So tired of hearing that word. Few weeks of improving trends is giving hope to Roblox corporation's investors that the worst of the gaming platform's post-pandemic slowdown is now behind it. They might want to hit pause on that notion. Roblox, known by parents everywhere as the cultural phenomenon whose virtual playgrounds have captivated their children, posted predictably solid results late Monday before following up with its earnings call for analysts early Tuesday. Company's bookings, the industry's primary measure of sales, climbed 28% from a year earlier to $637.8 million for the quarter, ended in September. And daily active users for the period rose 31% to 47.3 million. But what seized the market's attention was a sign that the current quarter wasn't going to see as much of a post-pandemic growth slowdown as anticipated. For the first 27 days of October, before an unusual 3-day outage at month's end, daily active users shot up by 43% year over year. The healthy increase surprised Wall Street, which had expected Roblox's growth rate to slow markedly now that users were no longer confined at home due to the pandemic. Shares skyrocketed more than 30% on Tuesday morning. Roblox's valuation already is hovering in nosebleed territory. At Monday's close, before the earnings announcement, the company was valued at nearly $45 billion, with the stock trading at 177 times next year's consensus earnings. For context, the largest U.S. video game publisher, Activision Blizzard, is valued at 17 times 2022 earnings estimates. Wow. Looking further out, the company faces rising threats from technology giants, including Facebook, parent Meta Platforms, and video game publisher Epic Games, both of which are vying to build metaverse environments, digital worlds where users can socialize, play games, and conduct business that will challenge Roblox's early lead in that arena. I'm not going to read the rest of this. If you want to take a look at the rest of this, there you go. But looks like Roblox is doing much better than anticipated currently. So there you go. Super Nintendo World's Mario Kart ride gets new details and footage. All right. Universal's US-based Super Nintendo World will feature a real-life Mario Kart ride, and some new details indicate it may be more ambitious than we originally thought. Yeah, if I remember correctly, they were trying to incorporate like VR in a lot of this stuff, right? All of the video game companies that are best suited for a theme park, Nintendo is definitely at the top of the list. Its games are colorful and full of imagination, with many players wishing they could bring themselves closer to the action in some way. People have tried to replicate Mario Kart in real life for years, sometimes resulting in legal action from Nintendo, but now we're getting the real deal with Super Nintendo World. The United States version of Super Nintendo World is currently slated to open in early 2023 in Hollywood, California, and Universal has offered some details regarding its highly anticipated Mario Kart ride. Players will strap into a cart and don some AR goggles, which allows them to race against virtual versions of characters like Mario, Peach, and Bowser. With these goggles, they can then lob digital items like in the video game to knock their opponents off course and gain the lead. It seems like the track is still relatively on rails, and the player won't have a lot of control over how they're moving through the track, which makes sense if they're wearing distracting AR goggles. As of right now, there's no firm date for when fans will get to go to the park and experience the Mario Kart ride. We'll watch this in a second. A Super Nintendo World is already open in Japan, and another one is in the works for Universal's Orlando Park, so fans should be able to get access to the exciting new park in various parts of the world with relative ease within the coming years. As of right now, there aren't a ton of significant details about what else will be featured as main attractions at the new park. Let me make sure everybody understands. I won the random mode game. I can't give myself a sub, right? Because I'm the broadcaster. So whenever that happens, I'm just going to give a random sub to the community. And, whoever gets it, gets it. So that's what happened right there. Random mode game is a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I've had people ask, why do you play? You can't win a sub. I kind of meme out, and I always talk about how I'm going to win a sub for myself, even though I can't actually do that. It's just a way for me to play along with the community with the game. And, if I win, it'll be a reason for me to give somebody a sub, which is a lot of fun for me. So there we go. Finally, dude. Now, Metal's no longer the only winner of the rando mode game. Get wrecked, Metal. I'm just kidding. That was awesome when Metal won, too. Let's take a look at this and see what's up. That wasn't much of a preview there, was it? But all right, there it is. Cool. Nintendo World. Toys for Bob could be working on a new Crash Bandicoot, it's claimed. Studio was believed to be hiring for a non-COD project last year. Call of Duty. Speaking on the Windows Central Xbox Chatter Days podcast, Windows Central journalist Jez Corden implied that he has knowledge of a new Crash Bandicoot title in development at the studio behind Crash 4. It's about time, as well as the remake trilogy. When another guest on the podcast, Randall Thor, predicted that Toys for Bob could be working on a new Crash title that could possibly be shown at the upcoming Xbox and Bethesda showcase, which happens on the 12th, I think. Corden asked sarcastically, "Where did you get that info, Rand?" Before saying later, "I wasn't supposed to leak that," while clearly inferring that it could be true. VGC reported late last year that Toys for Bob was potentially hiring for non-Call of Duty projects, as suggested by a listing on its internal careers site. The studio, which developed the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, and Skylanders franchise, had recently been transitioned prominently into a support studio for Call of Duty, specifically the massively successful free-to-play Warzone. Last year, Activision Blizzard confirmed that all its core studios are now working on the Call of Duty franchise. However, at the time, Toys for Bob still implied it would be working on the Crash franchise in some form. Xbox and Bethesda showcase will be held on Sunday, June 12th. Yep. Event will start at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. BST, and will be streamed in over 30 languages on the likes of YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. How long has it been since we had a Crash game? How long has it been now? What was the latest one? Oh, this doesn't show all of them? Wait, what? This is just the first one, huh? Hold on. There we go. That's what we wanted. So I got a remaster. The trilogy got a remaster for PS4 on June 30th of 2017. And then the Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel remaster. 2019. Yeah, so there hasn't been anything for Crash in quite a while. Yeah, okay. That's all I was looking at. Um, the only thing you might need to do is update it. Xbox peripherals actually work very well with Windows platform, Windows OS PCs, buddy, because it's Microsoft. Both are Microsoft, right? So, now what I'll say is that it's are you talking about actually pairing up like with Bluetooth? I highly recommend people hardwire peripherals, but it can absolutely work. It can absolutely work. It's pretty seamless nowadays with a lot of, especially Microsoft peripherals for Xbox going into PC gaming as well. Are you talking about you're actually having issues, or you've never done it before? So a new Crash 4 game is kind of unofficially official. You know, a 12-year-old girl takes on the video game industry. This episode originally aired in 2015. We're re-airing it along with a new interview with Maddie about what she's been up to since we first spoke to her. When Maddie Messer was 12, she loved a good video game. One of her favorites was called Temple Run. At the time, it was one of the most successful games out there. Temple Run was free to play if you played as a default character, Guy Dangerous. But playing as a girl character cost extra. Maddie found out this was true for a lot of games and she didn't think it was very fair. Today on the show, a 12-year-old girl who took on the entire video gaming industry. Okay. It's a 19-minute listen. I'm not going to spend 19 minutes yet. Or yet. I'm not going to spend 19 minutes right now. But, I mean, that brings up a significant issue that we find quite often. Whether it be gender stereotyping or the inability to have your option of what gender looking type character you would like to play, you know. It used to be much worse in gaming, even just like 5 to 10 years ago. It's definitely changing over more currently to developers having a more dedicated approach to ensuring there's diversity, ensuring that there are numerous options for players to choose from. Whereas traditionally, it used to be like a like average 30-year-old looking white male with like brown hair and blue eyes or whatever. There was some kind of like super stereotypical like protagonist in video games. There were differences there, you know, like with Tomb Raider, you know, you always had Lara Croft and stuff. But traditionally, if a game was made throughout the history of gaming, that was like the stereotypical protagonist or character model that you would end up playing as, and there wasn't much variety. But there's been a very hard look at changing that, and I'm guessing this is probably a pretty good listen here about this this girl and her thought process behind only being able to use a male gender stereotypical male gendered character for the game that she enjoyed, and steps she took to kind of address this issue, probably with that developer and everything, and the gaming industry as a whole is probably included in this discussion. So I will link this. All right, there you go. uh, oh, I already linked it, I'm an idiot. Just seems weird to use a controller with PC. It's not. I mean, it's the same thing as using a controller with a console. You know what I mean? As far as gaming's concerned, what I will say is, especially in regards to like, it used to be a lot harder. That's kind of it for today, guys, with the news segment. It's a pretty good segment. So sorry it took us a while, but if you have, I'm gonna have a bit of a discussion here real quick, and try to find something for our buddy Gamer. But if you have anything else, explosion. If you have anything else you're interested in bringing up regarding news that I didn't touch on or we didn't see or whatever, let me know while I continue to talk here. There we go. Okay. So it used to be brutal, man, trying to get a lot of peripherals to gaming peripherals to play with PC. Even just like half a decade ago, it was much harder. It's been incorporated much easier nowadays. I mean, I remember because I was always a user of PlayStation controllers, and obviously PlayStation is not Microsoft, and Windows is Microsoft, which most a large portion of PCs have Windows as the operating system, right? And so I used to always have to use this little program. Man, what was it called? I can't even remember what it's called, but it was like a community built program, free program, but it was just built by a couple of people to help make PlayStation controllers work very well with a Windows PC. And I used to have to use that all the time because platforms didn't have any support for them. Windows obviously isn't going to have support for it naturally. I think they might actually nowadays, but not quite on the same front as what you'll get with a Microsoft Core controller or whatever. What you will find is that sometimes if your controller hasn't been updated, you'll have some issues. So quite often, what you'll need to do is actually get into. You'll have to like connect to Microsoft's Xbox servers, having the device plugged into your PC, and download some updates for the device if it hasn't ever been updated before. And that usually can resolve a lot of the issues you'll find with any kind of connection or weird stuff going on. But it's pretty seamless nowadays. Pretty seamless with most stuff. And I mean, I always use cables, man. I'm not a fan of latency that quite often comes along with wireless stuff. I use these are my headset can be wireless. I don't like it being wireless. I enjoy having the capability in case I want to take my headset away from the PC with me and just jam out for a while or whatever. But my mouse is wired. Everything's wired for me. That's the way I like to roll. So not everybody feels that way, and more power to you. But I traditionally there's just a little bit more lag, a little bit more latency that comes along with not having things hardwired in. But buddy, if you shouldn't really have any issues. And not only that, but a lot of platforms nowadays, like Steam, they've got great controller support configuration things, and but you can still find a little bit of wonkiness. I will say with like a platform like Steam, it usually helps to make sure that your device is turned on, connected, and everything like that before you start up any game. Okay, trying to get devices turned on and connected and everything while you're already in game can create issues. So keep that in mind. Try to make sure you've got your peripherals all plugged in, hooked up, turned on, ready to go before you boot up your title, whatever you're going to play. Um, Other than that, if you have any issues, again, quick Google search is a really good way to figure out any kind of issues you might be having. Now, let me see if I can help Gamer real quick. This might be something that is useful across the board here. Let me see. Here is a free utility. I will throw this in chat real quick, and I'll read this to you. Okay. If you're interested, this is just one. I'm gonna link. I'm gonna link some other stuff real quick too. Hold on. Where was that? This is just one of the first ones I came across. This is off of CNET's site. Again, what I would say is like getting free kinds of software and stuff can be a bit of and this is not stuff. I'm not promoting this because I've ever tried this content. Okay, this question came up from our community member Gamer Extreme. I've always used software for my mouse that is just I've been using these G Hero 502 502 503 my G Skill, not G Skill, Logitech G Heroes, and I love them, man. I've got like 3 of them, and I've been using their software for any kind of mouse configuration that I needed for the longest time. I'm comfortable with it. I enjoy their software, and so I've just used it for a long time. But again, if you're going to use if you're going to be just pulling software offline that you're not familiar with or whatever, make sure you use some kind of antivirus to scan that stuff. Make sure that, even look up like, is this website legit? Go do another Google search of any website that you're planning on pulling software down from. Do a Google search about that site first and see what people have to say about that website and whether their software and their everything is legit. Try to protect yourself as much as possible, okay? I just put this X mouse, a link for this X mouse stuff. Your mouse probably has several buttons and maybe a scroll wheel or 2. If you're using the default settings, or you can open and close web pages, turn the volume up and down when you play music or simulate any keystroke. You can with X mouse button control. Free utility lets you set customized profiles called layers with individually customized mouse controls in each, rapidly switch between them, create separate mouse control profiles for individual applications, like different games you play, such as games that don't support extended mouse buttons, or you can have the scroll wheel change to a volume control when you hover your cursor over the system tray. So there's going to be different kinds of software out there. This one looks like it got pretty good user reviews. I think the user reviews were around a little over 4 stars, so it's probably not bad. What I would also say is maybe like one of the first sites that comes up actually just has some of the like top 5 free tools to remap customized mouse button actions. When was this posted, man? I don't know. Anyways, actually, the first one on here is the Logitech gaming software. This is similar to what I use. This is an old looking version of it, but I don't know. I'll put this in chat too, so you can have a look. Specifically, gamer, if you're needing some kind of software, man, just make sure you're this is the X mouse button control, the first one we looked at, this one right here. This is number 2 on the list, right? So you can probably find something decent just off of those 2 links that I put in chat. I think that you're probably better off trying to use any kind of software that you can come across. Most, main brands of gaming peripheral, PC peripheral devices have some kind of software that you can download and will coincide, and functions very well with those devices to allow you to customize whatever you need to do with it. But if that is not an option for you, then maybe those links right there can help out a little bit, okay? On that note, that should be it for our gaming news. Thanks to everybody who's part of this. I know it was a bit of a long one today. That's okay, man. It's okay. We're having a chill day. We're going to do a little bit more Valheim, work on our courtyard, and then we're going to do some more Jackbox, man, and just hang out, have a good time. So I hope everybody's weekend's going very well. If you are viewing this as a VOD on YouTube later, then, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with us when we go live every single day at 6 a.m. CST, where we always start off with our gaming news segments, okay? And if you are watching this on YouTube and you're enjoying the content, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and potentially leave me a comment so we can have a bit of a discussion regarding some of these topics that we came across today, okay? Other than that, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we'll catch everybody tomorrow morning for June 6th edition of Video Gaming News.